Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today. It's Monday morning, April 5th, 2021. The man they call Meathead, joined as always on a beautiful Monday morning. It is summertime here in the greater Wisconsin area. It's Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. Yes, I feel the warmth. I'm also still gleaming from a great opening day victory from the Brewers last week.
Yeah.
Got some box victories, and it's WrestleMania week, baby.
It's WrestleMania week. That's right. It's funny you say the opening day because here we're talking about, just yesterday we had 70 degrees all the way up by Green Bay. Opening day in Cleveland, Miguel Cabrera, Miggy, hit a home run in the snow.
I know. It's crazy.
It was so white out with the snow that the ball didn't look like it went over. He slid in the second and stood there until he said, dude, you hit a home run. Get up. Good stuff. But hey, let's talk sponsors real quick. Manscaped.com is making sure, again, here in the greater Fox Valley area in Milwaukee and everybody across the, areas except for Cleveland are warming up and getting outside and wearing less clothing. So get yourself Manscaped. 20% off with PWR, manscaped.com, and then our friends at collarandelbowbrand.com. Our friend Dave the Zohan Hero, making everybody look silky smooth when he tells you about Collar and Elbow Brand. PWR 360 will save you 10%. Uncle Al also hooking us up over at collarandelbowbrand.com. I got to tell a quick Easter story here. So I love my Collar and Elbow Brand shirts, right? It's Easter. You got to wear something nicer than a T-shirt, right? So I've got an okay, I didn't come, in a tank top. I didn't come in a T-shirt, but I had to actually show people that underneath the nice little dress polo that I had on, I had my Festus shirt on.
That was going to be my guess to which collar and elbow shirt you had on. Because I know you love that Festus.
Yeah. Festus. The one with the tongue hanging out. That's my favorite. And I was asking people to ring the bell, to see what it looked like. So let's talk about what happened on Friday night. First, we are going to talk news. Okay, let's get into the news real quick. A big story broke right after we recorded, actually, for Friday's show. So we weren't able to talk about it until just now. Tony Khan's forbidden door goes in and out. And that's no dirty joke there. Chris Jericho, the Judas of AEW, will be on the WWE Network / Peacock Network the moment after, I think it's the week after WrestleMania, on the Stone Cold podcast. This is unprecedented because he's still a contracted talent. It's advertised while he's with AEW. It's in the middle of a big feud. It's one of the main event feuds on AEW Dynamite. Jericho's going to be on Stone Cold's podcast on the competition's network. Linda, what's the thoughts?
Yeah, when you first broke the news to me, I was very shocked. Just did not see that coming. If Tony Khan's forbidden door is wide open,
how does he walk around with that thing like that?
Yeah,
that was a dirty joke.
Yes. So why not Vince McMahon turn a new leaf and welcome in a cross-promotional type deal as well? One thing that popped in my mind is, interlacing, if you will, networks. Is this something for AEW to gain from getting exposure on Peacock now?
Yeah.
That's where I would see their main advantage to locking with WWE.
Did Peacock ask WWE to do this to get the extra exposure? Because this has got everybody buzzing. This has got everybody talking about how Jericho's going to be live on a network while working for another company. Did the Peacock do that to maybe bump up, sign-ons, log-ons, app users? Did they do that?
Perhaps. I mean, it's tit for tat.
Yeah. Now let's stretch this out a little bit. Let's overreact on this. All right. Let's do a hot take, but take it all the way farther than it's probably going to go. Is AEW going to sell their content to the WWE network, and can we watch AEW? Or does AEW sell it to Peacock, who is not WWE, and get their content on there?
I would go with the latter. AEW is just growing. They've got, a lot of people, okay, we're all wrestling fans. We all dabble into other promotions, but as we've discussed many times on our program, there's a different fan base with AEW, and for it to interlace, there we go again, interlace with the machine this soon when they're just skyrocketing, I don't think that's going to happen right now. They got to build their own brand even further. I feel, if anything, it'd be a way for them to get extra exposure on Peacock to people out just maybe watching professional wrestling for the first time now that it's being put into our faces via that platform itself.
So, like I said, this is something that I don't see happening. I want to make that part clear. But let's talk about it. AEW could make the deal with NBC. Now, NBC and the WWE have been, for lack of a better term, they've been in bed with each other for 30, 40 years now, right? I mean, they've been great working partners. There was that little bit of tiff when WWE left the USA Network and went over to, TNN, the Nashville Network, and then it became Spike TV, and then they came back to USA. Other than that, where do you think NBC's main event? Universal, which is Peacock, which is, all the stuff under the NBC Peacock, feathers, has always been USA Network. It's always been that. Vince has had a great working relationship with everyone in NBC, Dick Ebersol and all those guys. They've been working together for a year. So do you think that AEW could work out a deal with Peacock without the knowledge of WWE? And do you think they would go to WWE and say, what do you think about us putting extra content on the network?
Would this be an issue with TNT though?
Maybe. TNT probably, as their business partner, won't be too happy about it.
Yeah, I think that would be the first hurdle.
And TNT is Time Warner. So Time Warner Inc., which I believe is owned by AT&T.
Yeah.
Owned by Comcast. AT&T Comcast. I might have that one off. It might be Comcast, actually.
Okay. Well, it's just still rather shocking that, just having a star like Chris Jericho currently with your main competitor.
Their first ever champion.
Yeah. At an AEW, they're being on one of the first highlighted events outside of WrestleMania and Fastlane, outside of the pay-per-views, on the new WWE network via Peacock, be the highlight of Broken Skull sessions. So, it's got me scratching my head a little bit. Literally, I'm scratching my head right now on what the final destination of every participant, of this scenario is leading toward. But hey, I'll be tuning in to that Broken Skull sessions. Absolutely. That's the whole thing.
We'll be tuning in, and it's got us talking about.
Absolutely.
That's the big news. I got one other bit of news, and it kind of matches what we're talking about here when we say Peacock. As of this morning, the WWE Network, stateside, no longer exists. The Peacock is the only place to watch WWE content starting today. Linda Kay, you've got the Peacock all lined up, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I had it to catch Fastlane, and I know we talked about it. What I'm wondering is, come WrestleMania and the pay-per-views thereafter, are we going to be able to start it at any time?
Right.
Give me a rewind. Are we able to pause, rewind, fast forward? Yes. Yeah. I mean, hey, all that promoting, it's finally here. And outside of WWE programming, like I said, I can catch some Punky Brewster. So
there you go.
Fry. Yes, but no, all in all, it is exciting. Big week in WWE overall, and this is just one part of it. And hey, day one-ish of WrestleMania week.
There you go. Okay, let's talk SmackDown from Friday night. First off, we had Daniel Bryan defeating Jey Uso in a street fight. This one got kind of brutal.
Like that transition there?
Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic. Again, there's a reason you're here. You're good at that stuff. So Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso, this got brutal, and it got Edge involved as well. And Daniel Bryan even going after Edge for a little bit. And then Daniel Bryan putting the yes lock on Roman on the ramp. Your thoughts on the main event, and we'll talk about a couple other matches here.
Yeah, I do like how it ended with Daniel Bryan being on top, appearing the strongest to close out SmackDown before the WrestleMania SmackDown episode, if you will. But just because he was inserted so last minute into this main event, this new triple threat match, ending SmackDown the week prior. So it was good to see. For any doubters, I know both of us were leaning more toward wanting.
For any couple of haters.
Yes. Ha!
Yeah.
Leaning more toward wanting just a Reigns Edge match. Seeing Daniel Bryan putting everybody down, laying everybody out to close out SmackDown makes the match a bit more exciting, at least for me. And I know we still have technically one more SmackDown to go, but
right. That's I think that's the pre-show, honestly.
Well,
I think it's the WrestleMania pre-show.
Oh, the Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso match.
No, I'm talking about the Friday Night SmackDown that's coming up next week is the replacement for the pre-show.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Because they're WrestleMania SmackDown.
Yes. And I'll end at that.
Which kind of, crushes my hopes of getting points out of the Street Profits because I picked them up to get WrestleMania points, but they'll be in the title match coming up next Friday against the Dirty Dogs, who defeated, it looks like, the Profits and the Mysterios when they teamed up with Otis and Chad Gable in an 8-man tag. Really, it's just a preview for what's coming up next week on the WrestleMania SmackDown. Plus, we had a face-to-face with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Talk about Cesaro's new, I don't know what that is, that suit.
Well, maybe because it was a face-off. I mean, he had to put a suit against Seth Rollins. I mean, that's his new spiel, his new gimmick. Seth Rollins with those unique suits. Still has that glove with the suit. So perhaps, it's a face-to-face before the biggest event of the year. So he just wanted to tidy up, suit up a bit.
Yep. Natalya gets a victory over Shayna Baszler on SmackDown as well. Now, after the match, there was bedlam when a post-match brawl broke out between the teams of Shayna and Nia Jax, Natalya and Tamina, the Riot Squad, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and Naomi and Lana. Again, we've speculated over and over. What do you think is going to happen with the Women's Tag Team Championships?
I still want that ladder match.
Yeah,
dang it, I want it.
I'll tell you what. I'll take some specialty points for my team of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke.
There you go. Yeah, that was different to see our Raw tag teams come out. I was a little surprised at that, but I'm like, well, this makes sense. Again, something we've been talking about, more of the setup for the tag match that hopefully will get announced soon.
There you go.
For Mania.
What are your thoughts on Logan Paul and him showing up as a friend and a guest to WrestleMania of Sami Zayn?
Well, number one, huge draw for those maybe not currently watching WWE. Obviously, a mainstream appeal. Another celebrity to add on along with Bad Bunny for WrestleMania this year. I kind of figured with him appearing on SmackDown last week that he'd end up finding a way onto the actual WrestleMania event. He's not having a match, but we all know he's got his boxing that he does on the side, or one of his
ventures.
Yes, ventures. And with how things seemed kind of off with Sami Zayn. I mean, number one, first off, that documentary clip.
Yeah.
I loved it. So Sammy. But we saw KO push Logan Paul while he was leaving the ring, but it just seemed kind of like Logan Paul's like, okay, I don't even know what's going on. I just kind of feel, although he's going to be the guest of Sami Zayn, that we're going to see a punch coming from Logan Paul at WrestleMania, and I'm going to assume it's going to happen to Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm. Hey, real quick, your boy Big E is going to be in a Nigerian drum fight. I don't know what it is, but it's a specialty match.
Yes. Well, Apollo Crews did mention that the history behind that match is the brutality of it. It sounds like drums, or the beat of drums from all the hits and smashes or something to that sort. So that's where that came about. But, I hope my boy Big E can retain. I do see this match being quite brutal. We got the two big guys in there finally getting to go at it. And now the specialty stipulation, it should just make it all that much better.
SmackDown did what it needed to do being kind of, like I mentioned with Matthew, a lame duck SmackDown. I mean, because you advertise this huge big show the week after, what makes people want to watch the one that you got coming up, you know? So, but again, I believe that this SmackDown coming up on Friday, which will be the WrestleMania SmackDown, it's got the, you know, the tag team title match. It's got all that other stuff that's going to be happening on that show. I really do feel that it's a WrestleMania pre-show, unfortunately, in our PWR draft, which is coming to the final weekend. Linda, can you believe we drafted a year ago and we are at the final weekend? We have 2 scoring events left. We've got NXT TakeOver this week. What's that?
So the Pinnacle.
Yeah, the Pinnacle. There you go. Nice play on words there. We have the NXT TakeOver Night 2 on the Peacock and WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday. I hold a bit of a lead on Drew, and really that's the battle for first. And then there's other battles that are happening there with yourself, Dave Hero, and Team Matt Damien. But yeah, big stuff happening. Let's move our way into Raw for tonight. It's the go home, the big show before WrestleMania. The first match that is announced is going to be Drew McIntyre taking on King Corbin. Now, I know that Bobby Lashley, tell me again what Bobby Lashley has as far as what he's looking for with Drew McIntyre.
You mean somebody possibly, the bounty?
Yeah, the paper towel or the toilet paper or whatever it is. Yeah, the bounty.
I was more a brawny type of gal,
Gotcha.
But yeah,
that's because you like the brawny spokesman. He was a big lumberjack kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what got you into wrestling, was the lumberjack, you know.
Yes. Who would have thunk? But no, so I know after Raw last week, we were speculating, like, is this part of the new Hurt business? But then I think just based on the previews that we're getting for the go home show tonight, that it is just King Corbin coming over to the other brand to take on Lashley's request, his bounty, similar to King Corbin when he had his King's Ransom, to take a hit on to Drew McIntyre to try to take him out. And, you know, maybe we'll get that Lashley Corbin match at WrestleMania Night 1.
Absolutely. And again, being in that it's the go home, I mean, we're gonna get the Raw matches that are set up for Night 1 and Night 2. We're gonna get the final push on those matches. So I mean, we've got, you know, the Lashley McIntyre, we've got the Braun Strowman Shane McMahon, we got the Bad Bunny and the Miz, you know, the Randy Orton and the Fiend matches that are all going to be there. So we're going to get those final builds, those final pushes towards those matches. Again, this week we will have a nice big extra large preview for you. Here's what's going to be going on this week from the PWR Today staff. Are you ready? Linda, you don't even know. I haven't even read this to you yet. You're hearing this for the first time.
Oh.
So today we've reviewed Raw, and coming up tomorrow, so when we have our show on Tuesday, we're going to have a review of Raw. We're going to preview the Hall of Fame that's happening Tuesday on the Peacock Network. With all this stuff going on, we forgot about the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame's on Tuesday in the morning.
Yeah, 2 classes.
Yeah, 2 classes, the class of 2020 and 2021. Then on Wednesday, myself and Matthew Thomas will talk TakeOver Night 1, and we will basically look over what's going on there. We're also going to review the Hall of Fame if anything big happened, and we'll talk a little bit of Impact. On Thursday's show, we're going to talk about, Matthew and myself again, we're going to talk about Night 1 and go over everything that happened at TakeOver, Stand and Deliver. We're also going to talk about AEW Dynamite and preview everything coming up for Night 2, which will be exclusive on the Peacock. Okay. Then on Friday morning, Matthew and myself will review all of TakeOver, Stand and Deliver. And then coming up Friday as well, we will have a special WrestleMania preview edition. It'll be all 3 of us for the first time ever on PWR Today. Linda Kay, Matthew Thomas, and the man they call Meathead. All 3 of us on one show. The show's going to be too big to hold into 20 minutes. We might set a record for how long we go. Again, if I can't stop talking. But we'll talk about everything TakeOver. We will preview WrestleMania. We'll talk about the WrestleMania Smackdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Sunday morning, we will have a special review of Night 1 of WrestleMania. And then again, Monday morning, next week, Monday, after WrestleMania is over, we will talk everything WrestleMania and preview everything for your night after WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania, which if they're not in front of fans, I don't know if it's going to be as big. Because remember, they say anything could happen on a Raw after WrestleMania, but with nobody there, who cares? So we'll see what happens. It's usually time for call-ups, special signings, turns, twists, returns, twists, whatever. So we got a lot of content coming this week.
Yeah, it's so much content. But it is, again, WrestleMania week. I love it.
You're going to give us live reports from WrestleMania.
Yeah, I love different ways I can contribute to our program here. Live reports, on-site previews via PWR Today, reviews via PWR Today. Wow. And that big show, huge show with the three of us?
Yeah, forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. Love it, love it, love it. So pumped.
Amazing stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming your way. Plus, again, I don't know where we're at. I keep hearing these whisperings of the PWR draft coming to an end, plus a possible new PWR draft coming. I don't know. That stuff's being worked on. We got to talk it out. I may be going pillar to post. We'll find out Monday morning when we talk everything PWR. We talk everything WrestleMania. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. So for Monday morning, I'm the man they call Meathead, and Linda K as well. We will talk to you again tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.